This poster is titled Making Wheelchair Trays and Supports, made by Therese Wilkham, PhD, ATP. The first image shows an adjustable tray for painting and communicating. This tray is mounted onto a wheelchair using two vertical adjustable horizontal mounts that are secured to the left and right side of the wheelchair using 3/4 inch PVC pipe, two 90-degree elbows, and 1/2 inch lock line to provide adjustability of the tray. The text on this tray has all these arrows pointing to all the components, and the person sitting in the chair, his name is Chester, and the tray is positioned in front of him within reach, and it is positioned at about a 45-degree angle to allow him to do his artwork and painting. The tray that is secured using Velcro brand industrial hook and loop that is secured to two 3-inch by 3-inch mounting squares, one on the left, one on the right, on the back of the tray. The tray is made of 10 mil corrugated plastic, and the arrows are pointing to the mounting squares, also pointing to the Velcro brand hook and loop interface. Arrows are pointing to 1/2 inch lock line, elbow, double, and NPT connector that is inserted into a 1-inch piece of 3/4 inch PVC pipe that is inserted into a 90-degree elbow, and that elbow is then inserted into a 6-inch piece of 3/4 inch pipe that is inserted into a second elbow that is then inserted into a 12-inch vertical piece that drops down to the left and right side of the wheelchair into two receiving tubes that are made of Velcro One Wrap. The text says adjustable tray for painting, communicating, drop-in tubular mounts for wheelchair using One Wrap. The next image is a woman sitting in a power wheelchair, and she has a lap board resting on her lap, and that's covered in a non-slip rubber material, both on the bottom and the top. And on this lap board that is 4 inches higher at the end, the lap board is 15 inches wide by 11 inches deep. It has a lip on the end that is positioned toward her abdominal area. Her hands are resting on the tray. She has an iPhone that is on an iPhone holder mounted at about a 45-degree angle, and she's looking down at the iPhone. And the rubber is preventing the iPhone from sliding off of her tray. This next image is a woman sitting in a manual wheelchair that has a height adjustable wheelchair tray that is made out of 3/4 inch PVC pipe and a two-way adjustable elbows to change the height position. There is the 1/2 inch lock line components that are slid into the 3/4 inch PVC pipe to provide further adjustability for angles on the tray. There is a QR code that leads to a video that is 3 minutes and 39 seconds. It says wheelchair lap tray. The wheelchair tray is made out of 10 mil corrugated plastic, and there is an arrow pointing to mounting arms are attached to the wheelchair armrests using Velcro brand One Wrap and gripper loop. Two height adjustable mounting arms from the Handyman project were used to create this wheelchair tray mount. See chapter 2, it says on this image. All of these images and QR codes are found in the book titled Make Stuff and Love People, Assistive Technology Solutions in Minutes, Book 3. Page 2 has the accessible version for blind and low vision with the hyperlinks to all of the videos. In this image, there is a boy with arthrogryposis sitting in a power wheelchair, and underneath his thighs is a mount that is made of an upside down microwavable plate, and he is playing with a fidget spinner that is mounted to a 12-inch by 6-inch piece of corrugated plastic, which is secured to a 3-inch mounting disc that is on the back of that plate, which is then secured to 8 segments of 3/4-inch lock line that is then snapped into a 3-inch locking disc, which is then attached to an upside down 12-inch plastic pliable plate that is then slid in between his thighs as he's sitting in the wheelchair. So it is a body mounted solution using the weight to be able to hold something at a desired angle. This image shows a boy in a wheelchair. He has some leg rests and he has a tray on his lap with a bunch of gears and a toy truck that are secured to this tray using Remo 2 tape. And if he turns one gear, it turns them all. Both hands are interacting with the toys on the tray. This next image is a woman sitting in a manual wheelchair. There are 2 mounting arms on the left and the right side underneath the armrests. The mount is made out of corrugated plastic to hold a book in front of her. So it is a hands-free book holder that attaches to the wheelchair. There are 2 QR codes on this image that lead to 2 videos. The first QR code says bilateral mount. The video is 39 seconds. The second QR code says book holder for a wheelchair, and the video is 40 seconds. This next image shows a lap tray that has a center pylon made out of 3/4-inch PVC pipe that fastens to the bottom of a 10 mil piece of corrugated plastic using a 3-inch by 3-inch mounting square with a 1/2-inch lock line fixed mount that extends from the mounting square. The pylon comes down and is secured in between the 2 footrests on the wheelchair and secured to a vertical cross brace underneath the person's thighs. The person has their cell phone holding in their right hand. This tray is a short tray that extends between the joystick control on the wheelchair and on her right side, and then a cup holder on her left side. The dimensions of the tray appears to be about 15 inches wide by 11 inches deep. This image shows the tray in the sagittal plane. The person is sitting in the wheelchair, and on top of the tray is a track board that has an assortment of fidget items that she is using her hands to interact and to spin the various spinning items mounted on the track board that is secured to the tray. This image shows a person sitting in a power wheelchair with a half tray that is secured on his left side. His left hand is paralyzed. The tray is made out of corrugated plastic covered in a soft foamy material from Michaels. There is a remote control for the TV resting on the tray. His arms are folded across his abdominal area. There's an arrow pointing to the tray, and it says used for eating and drinking and taking notes. There is another arrow that says parallel mount using 3/4 inch lock line attached in 2 places underneath the armrest. And then there are 3 arrows pointing to the tray, and he has a spiral notebook on that tray, and he's reaching over with his right arm with a pen in his hand and taking notes. And the text reads 15 inches of lockline elbow, Velcro brand 1 wrap, gripper loop 3 inch by 3 inch mounting square with hook and loop. The next image is a gentleman in a power wheelchair that he has a Home Depot shirt on. He has the tray mounted on his wheelchair tray is an iPad with a communication app with 4 messages in front of him. Next to that is his cell phone that's mounted at about a 45-degree angle using a mount that's made of a triangular piece of acrylic that is 3 inches wide, about 2 inches high in the back, and about 4 inches deep. It appears to be secured to the wheelchair tray using a Velcro brand hook and loop material interface with a removable adhesive onto the wheelchair. This image shows a wheelchair tray, a young man sitting in the wheelchair looking straight ahead at a communication app that is positioned vertically at eye level, approximately 18 inches away from his face. The app that's loaded has a series of icons. The app is loaded on a 13-inch iPad Pro that is slid into a track made out of corrugated plastic. This track is mounted to a U-mount sliding track on the back of it that then slides over a 3-inch by 3-inch mounting square that is attached to 3/4 inch lock line that slides over a 12-inch bar clamp that is clamped onto the back side of his wheelchair.